With Don't Starve Together's newest update, A Little Drama, out now in full force, I'm finding myself surprised by just how full it actually is. For you see, we got way more than a content release, and there's an argument to be made about the quality of life overall being the actual updates. Especially when we aren't even done talking about the dang thing yet, as we even have a lot of food tweaks that we have yet to discuss. Plus, there's already another hotfix out there as we speak that adds even more to the dinner table for Pete's sake. So let's eat. And eat well at that. Tall Scotch eggs are one of 5 new Crockpot dishes that have been added to the game, and they might just scramble up the meta a wee bit. At least the breakfast meta. 1 tall bird egg, a veggie, and any filler of your choice for 150 hunger, 5 sanity, and 60 health a month, you say? Yeah, that's pretty insane considering all them new tall bird tweaks at the end of the day. Tweaks like how hatched tall birds can now create new nests, leading to tall bird duplication, how tall birds are now guaranteed to generate in any world anyways after this update, although that doesn't always mean you're gonna get a lot per world, mind, how tall birds now lay their eggs every 3 to 5 days after we steal them, and oh yeah, how we can now get tall bird eggs out of the loot stash of all things. Now I gotta be honest, I'm not sure if this last one's gonna stay, as it doesn't really make sense as the stash is usually for boss loot. But the points you should be taken away are that tall birds are now more renewable and plentiful as ever. So take advantage. But if we're truly talking eggs, we best toss some love towards the normal baby birds, as they too can offer us some new eats, like the breakfast skillet here. With a very similar set of ingredients to tall Scotch eggs, their 37.5 hunger, 5 sanity, and 20 health to buy can be yours if you're not able to make pierogies for whatever reason. And that's the downside of these things. Literally change one ingredient and you got a better dish. But if you're feeling quite hungry and got some excess eggs, a plain old omelet could also be made too. Overall, they're both not overly special, but hey, at least eggs have more to do, I guess. And somehow, some way, so do twigs, if you can believe it. Say hello to steamed twigs, folks. The first beefalo-specific crockpot dish ever. Now, sadly, we ourselves cannot eat this bowl of hot sticks, but our beefaloes can, and this is meant to be the more efficient hunger option over just feeding them twigs or grass. The problem with that, though, is that obedience isn't impacted any differently, so twigs and grass are actually still better if you're wanting to saddle and ride these things for domestication. That said, if you're not riding, a bowl of this twig soup is actually pretty good. As is the second beefalo specific meal of the day, beefalo treats. These guys are a little more involved in the baking process, as you can see, but are definitely the best option for both efficient hunger gains and obedience when compared to the steamed twigs, so there you go. Still, I think to really make any of these worth it, one or both should come with a domestication bonus of some sort. But with all that crockpot nonsense out of the way, it's time to talk about some more crockpot nonsense with recipe cards. They are a new drop added to many loot tables actually, and when they are read, they give us a name of a random crockpot dish and a single recipe to help us make it. They can be found in new cooking boons, dug up via any graves out there in the world, have a chance to be found within tumbleweeds, and I imagine this is going to be the main source of these things moving forward. And finally, although this is likely going to be the last source to have a go at locating these things, sunken chests can also be broken open in the recipe cards. But don't fret, if you're like me and find these recipe cards completely worthless, you can also now turn them into papyrus at a cartographer's desk, so keep that in mind. But hold up, Beard, I don't think we can gloss over the fact that you just said there's a new cooking boon out there. What gives? Ah yes, the update not only added cooking set pieces that come with recipe cards, a cookbook, a crockpot, and usually some spoiled fish, it also generates new farming and fishing boons too. We can now get free gardener hats, sea fishing rods, lures, digamajigs, more spoiled fish and manure and guano and more. Plus, all these boons can also be found in the caves too. So make notes. Oh, but we're not finished yet. Not when dessert hasn't even been served. Dessert that leaves no one behind anymore either. No, Your eyes do not deceive you. Wigfrid is now eating ice cream, everyone. The cold stuff counts as a goodie after this update, therefore sweets are back on the menu for all survivors. Enjoy it, as this is kind of a big deal. Tin fishing bins also got a pretty big update too, and I'm not one to say fond things about ocean fishing in this game. The special containers can now not only be placed on docks, although do be warned, every time I tried to do so I was kind of crashing. Their inventory sizes have been increased from 12 slots overall to 20 slots. That's nuts. Get to casting. And if you don't remember what tin fishing bins do, they not only stop the spoilage time of fish, they help increase it if they're rotting. Birch nuts, of all things, have also got a bit of respect in this update. So now not only can raw birch nuts be used in trail mix, which I think is actually kind of a big deal, and it makes for faster health production overall, cooked nuts can also be placed in a beefalo's mouth as well. So do with both of those as you please. The seed packet and insulated pack are now no longer burnable, so there you go. Both stuffed fish heads and veggie burgers here have had their priorities adjusted, meaning using extra meat in both dishes will not mess up the recipes overall, and thus will not be making something else entirely. And lastly, banana shakes and frozen banana daiquiri were supposed to have reduced spoilage timers to kind of balance things out, but then Clay went and released a recent hotfix that reverted this change, so just don't go off what you see before you hear. They're as normal as ever. And there you have it, everyone. All the new food and Crockpot changes for Don't Starve Together here, all a part of the newest beta, a little drama. And since you have yet to see it in any of our update videos, I guess here's an extra look at the new main menu too. Folks, I gotta be honest, I am as surprised as you might be by the fact that we were able to break this down into 3 separate yet main videos, if you know what I mean. Hopefully all 3 videos have done their best at cutting everything into little bite-sized pieces for ya, and thanks for watching, everyone. Well wishes to ya, and I'll see you for the inevitable hot fixes. Bye bye.